Good evening and welcome to tonight's town hall. Tonight, you'll be hearing from several elected officials and community organizations. And throughout these presentations, you're welcome to submit questions using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom. Panelists will be answering questions live throughout the town hall, and there will be an opportunity for additional Q&A during the last half hour of this evening's presentation. Tomorrow, we will be posting a recording of tonight's town hall in both English and Spanish to District 5's YouTube channel, along with materials and resources shared by our panelists. We expect that there will be questions posed in tonight's Q&A in both Spanish and English. We will provide a full translated transcript after the meeting, along with the video and materials. We have a fantastic group of panelists joining us this evening, so let's dive right in. First, I'd like to introduce Supervisor Hopkins.
Good evening and welcome to our West County We Take Care of Us Town Hall. I feel so lucky tonight to be joined by elected officials and nonprofit organizations who are doing just that, taking care of us. Tonight's meeting will kick off with remarks from state and federal elected officials, and then we'll be hearing from local nonprofit organizations who will provide a brief overview of the services they offer, as well as how you can support them as an ally. Lupe and Tracy from the 5th District Office will serve as our moderators and facilitators for tonight's meeting. I actually had a medical procedure this afternoon, so I did pre-record this message, but I will be listening in and helping to type answers to questions as they come through in the Q&A in the Zoom function. You know, I often say that I have the best 100,000 bosses in the world, the folks who live in West County, and I mean it. In my job, I'm so lucky to see how much love and support exists in our community each and every single day. Through floods, fires, windstorms, and a pandemic, we've always been there for each other. So, I care about you, and no matter what the next 4 years brings, I'll keep working for you and fighting for you. I will stand up for human rights. That means standing up for the rights of the LGBTQIA community, the rights of the undocumented community, the rights of women, the rights of people with disabilities, and the rights of future generations to inherit a vibrant, inhabitable, beautiful planet. Period. I've got you. And more importantly, we've got each other. I also want to acknowledge that today is Trans Day of Remembrance. Now, more than ever, it's important to do whatever we can to support our trans brothers and sisters. And with that, I am going to hand it back over to Tracy and Lupe to introduce our wonderful panel this evening.
Thank you, Supervisor Hopkins. Next, I'd like to welcome District 12 Assemblymember Damon Connolly to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Tracy. It looks like we're having an issue with getting my video on. There we go. Thank you so much. Wanted to begin by just saying thank you to Supervisor Hopkins for initiating this important community conversation, and really thank you to the members of our community. It's my privilege to represent Sonoma and Marin counties in the state legislature on your behalf. Tonight, we're bringing together some amazing community partners. It's folks who work every day to provide legal assistance, community aid, and leadership to our cities and towns. This is going to be more important than ever. We know what's at stake right now. We've seen this before. As promised, Trump is off to a start with an abhorrent group of appointees, distasteful rhetoric, but Supervisor Hopkins is absolutely right. We are ready to fight. We have the resolve, and we are going to have each other's backs for the next 4 years. So I just wanted to give a brief perspective on some of the approaches we're taking as your state legislators in Sacramento. And it was great to actually get off a Zoom call with colleagues from around the state right before this. And really, the sentiment is shared by everyone. We have to be ready to go. And what that means is we're going to continue to make sure that California is leading on the progress we've made and the values that we all share. So that means that we're protecting progress we've made on issues like clean vehicle standards, environmental protections more broadly, women's reproductive health care, immigration, and emergency wildfire funding as but a few examples. Trump has discussed his plans on a number of these issues. He's threatened to, for example, cut off our wildfire funding if we don't bend the knee to his other policy objectives. That's unacceptable. But I really want to focus on what is emerging as the top issue we're hearing from in our communities right now. And that is the real threat of mass deportation that Trump is trying to bring forward. I know that people are deeply scared right now about that, particularly around the issue of deportation. We know our undocumented immigrants in our community are members of our community. They're hardworking, they're raising families, their kids are in our schools. The prospect of taking mothers and fathers away from their children is something I will not stand for. And I know that you're all with me on that. So we are actually preparing for this through a special session you may have heard about. It will convene December 2nd. It was called by the governor. And what it will do in a nutshell is make sure that we have the resources available to our Attorney General and Department of Justice to push back on all these policies. We know that it will involve fights in the courts, fights in our communities, and we will be ready to go with that. I believe working with our Justice Department, immigration rights organizations, our nonprofits, legal aid groups on this call will be so important to making sure that every resident in our communities feels safe and protected. We are going to need the help of everyone to partner in this effort. It will take each of us during the coming years and throughout the North Bay and our partners here to take on whatever comes our way. Let me just conclude with this. I really believe there's a moral dimension to this, and I'm approaching it from that perspective, in addition to ensuring that state law and human rights are upheld for everyone in our communities. As your North Bay Assembly member, this is one of my top priorities. And please know that my door is always open. We're rolling up our sleeves and getting ready for this fight together. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Connolly, for these inspiring words. Next, we will be sharing pre-recorded videos from a few folks who are unable to join us live this evening. You will next hear from Congressman Jared Huffman, newly elected State Assemblymember Chris Rogers, and Chase Overholt and Alicia LeCompte from Positive Images in Santa Rosa.
Hi, everyone. Congressman Jared Huffman here, joining you virtually from Washington, D.C. I want to start by thanking Supervisor Lynda Hopkins for hosting this town hall and for including me in the program. And let me also thank the panelists who are participating here. The work that you do to support our vulnerable community members is critical. We're all very grateful for you. Now, this town hall is called We Take Care of Us, and I think that's exactly what we need right now. I can't sugarcoat this moment that we're in, what we're facing under a Trump 2.0 regime. It's going to be bad. And I'm really sorry to say that. So let's take care of us as best we can from our respective situations. Your concerns are understandable. Those of us that lived through Trump's first term remember it all too well. And we know that this round will be potentially even worse. That's why I fought so hard against Project 2025. And it's why we all did our very best to prevent a second Trump presidency, but he won. And now we need to get ready for what is likely to come next. So first thing, it's important to remember that we're not totally powerless. Sometimes it feels that way, but we're not totally powerless. This is something that I'm telling myself every morning to keep going. And it's something all of us need to remember. Second, this is a time to be grateful that we live in California. I can tell you from where I'm sitting right now that this is not the first time that I've been grateful for my California partners. It's a big part of what keeps me ticking, and you should take some comfort in being a Californian in this difficult moment as well. Third, if you're part of our LGBTQ or undocumented communities, or if you're a woman seeking reproductive health care, you've got many, many allies in addition to those present here tonight, especially in California. Yeah, we're going to face some tough times ahead, but you are smart to prepare yourselves for bad outcomes. Be sure to know your rights. We will try to help you with that, my staff and I, and get familiar with all the resources that are available to you. Be ready. And remember that you're not alone. We're all fighting for you. I want you to know that my staff and I are going to do our best to prevent bad things from happening. We'll be there to help you in any way we can as bad things do unfold. And please use us as a resource. Keep in touch with us. You can trust us to be with you through this difficult period. We want to help you in any way that we can. Let's all get to work to take care of us. Stay in touch and stay strong.
Good evening. My name is Chris Rogers, newly elected State Assembly member for Northern California. I want to start off by thanking Supervisor Hopkins for pulling us all together to have this conversation, because like all of you, since Election Day, I've been anxious and fearful about what a second Trump presidency means for our local communities, for our state, and for our country. And for many of us, it's deja vu all over again, having seen Trump come to power in 2016, having worked together to try to safeguard the rights of our vulnerable populations. And I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and say that we solved everything, that we don't have to worry. We should, because since then, Trump has become much more unhinged with his threats. We've seen his rhetoric become much more divisive, and we've seen him run entire campaigns to vilify vulnerable populations and vulnerable community members. But what I will tell you is the values that we espoused in 2016, we continue to hold today. And that's that we will take steps to defend our community against threats from the federal government, whether it was our local indivisible city ordinance that said that our local law enforcement would not participate in immigration actions and deportations, or whether it was standing strong for women's access to reproductive choice in California, or defending our LGBTQ communities against threats from the Trump presidency as well. We'll continue to do that here in partnership with one another, with our supervisors, with our nonprofits, with our community members. We'll first and foremost fully fund the Attorney General's office to make sure that they can push back on any threats. And then we'll invest in our local communities, our local nonprofits that have relationships and trust in each of our vulnerable communities to make sure that folks know what their rights are, have access to attorneys, and that if they are fearful of something, that they have the connection to be able to reach out for us to be able to work together. I don't want us to be fearful. I want us to be prepared. I want us to be united. And together, we'll push back and make sure that our community stays safe, that people have access to their rights and freedoms as they should, and that California will be the tip of the spear pushing back against Donald Trump. Thank you so much for being here. Please reach out if you need anything. We are in this together, and I look forward to working with you.
Hi there, my name is Chase Overholt, and I'm the Director of Development for Positive Images.
Hello, my name is Alicia Lecomte. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Directors.
And today we're here to give you just a little overview of what PI does and has to offer to our community. The first of which is drop-in hours every Tuesday through Friday from noon to 6 p.m. where folks can come in and have a third space and just exist. In that space we also have snacks and good internet, so you're welcome to come anytime.
We also have support groups for youth and adult. They'll meet in person and on Zoom.
As well, we've built out a new bilingual and bicultural team so that we're better able to serve our Latina community members.
We also do LGBTQIA+ trainings in person and via Zoom.
A couple of the things you can experience if you come into the center for any of those programs or during drop-in hours is our transformation station, our snack pantry, our queer library, our binder program, and so much more. So we really hope that you come in and see us sometime. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you to our local and elected leaders. Next, I'd like to invite Sister Surrender the Booty from the Russian River Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence to say a few words.
Hi there. I'm Sister Surrender the Booty, and I want to thank Lynda Hopkins for inviting me and the sisters to be a part of this really important evening. The sisters, as you can see, are a progressive 21st century order of nuns. We take vows to promulgate universal joy and expiate stigmatic guilt. The Russian River Sisters have been around since 2001. And we do a lot of different types of fundraisers. Now, I'll talk about what everybody is thinking about first and foremost. Bingo. We do a monthly bingo game that is not your grandmother's bingo, as you can see. Our bingo games for 2025 will go on sale. Well, January and February 2025 will go on sale on December 1st at noon. You can get them at rrsisters.org. They will sell out. They sell out quickly. If you'd like tickets, I suggest you set an alarm. There are a lot of other ways for you to donate and get involved with the things we have going on. We have our Give Back Tuesday at the Rainbow Cattle Company here in Guerneville coming up on November 26th, 2 days before Thanksgiving. So come be thankful and give gratitude to your sisters on November 26th. It's from 6 to 8. It is 21 and over. There will be a there will be dinner for $5 a plate, plus a lot of wonderful raffle items for you to win. We also have a peace rally. It's a monthly peace rally, and I'm so grateful to be on this call with so many local officials. We do a peace rally on the last Saturday of every month. Our next one will be on November 30th. It is at 4 o'clock. We start down at the Rainbow Mural at Timberline in Guerneville, and then we make a nice little walk over to the plaza, and we're there for about an hour, and we have a really good time. If anybody is negative towards us, we stay quiet, but we get a lot of positivity coming from the community and people driving by and walking by. And when we get those kind of people, we cheer and we woohoo. So that's always a lot of fun. And I have no idea when it's going to end, because as we all know, this is going to be a really rough 4 years, and your sisters will be here for you. So this is a way for us to give back to our community and to not sit in our houses and yell at the TV. It's a way for us to be active and be involved. One of my favorite things that we do every year is our holiday toy drive. We started it in 2020 when we were in the midst of the pandemic and we couldn't do our holiday dinner anymore for the public. So we pivoted and started giving gift certificates to all the kids in the lower Russian River area. We give it to Guerneville School, Forestville School, Monterey School, and the preschools that are associated with the two. It's all by donation. So if you'd like to give us a donation, our website, rrsisters.org. If you click on the donate button, you could click a number of causes that we do that you could give to. One other thing we are doing holiday story time with the sisters. This is going to be at Russian River Books and Letters on December 28th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be a really fun time. And we're going to read various different holiday stories. It's going to be a really fun time. I think that's all. If anybody has any questions, I will be around for the whole entire time. And I look forward to answering any questions you guys might come up with. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sister Surrenda. A quick reminder that panelists will be answering questions live throughout the town hall, so please be sure to enter any questions using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Up next, we'd like to welcome Doctors Jason Cunningham and Linnea Cyberlick-Wheeler from West County Health Centers to discuss healthcare access.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Supervisor Hopkins. It's an honor to be part of this group. It's an honor to be part of the West County and be able to stand with confidence in what we all stand for. And just to talk about our history, we've been here for 50 years. We started back in 1972 by community members in Guerneville and Occidental who felt a passion and a need for their family members and their community to have health care. And we were part of a community health center movement, and that movement stated that all of us deserve health care, and that health care should be non-judgmental. And that means that all of us, all races, all religions, all countries of origin, all sexual orientation, all gender identities, all of us, all abilities need to be having access to healthcare. I always say that healthcare is the front line or the front seat of humanity. And when you go to see your healthcare provider, you want to make sure that you have the ability to be vulnerable and be heard and be seen and have agency in that. And we hold that to be that everybody who walks in our door gets to be seen. And that doesn't have anything to do with our political affiliation. And I feel comfortable telling that to anybody who asks. At West County Health Centers, we serve patients in the West County, about 750 square miles, and we serve patients with primary health care. And that means that we serve a comprehensive array of services from reproductive health to prenatal care to primary care and preventative services. That could include well visits and immunizations and education about behavioral choices. That could include treating and diagnosing diseases and chronic illness. We also recognize that our decisions and our behaviors influence our care, and also mental illness influences our care. We serve patients with substance use disorders, and consider that to be part of primary care. We have a number of dental providers, a number of psychiatrists who serve our patients. And we're proud that that's part of a comprehensive service, so that when you come in to serve us or see us, then we're able to provide all of those services. We also have focused on some populations that need special help or special services, and we focus special skills and resources under those populations. That includes specialized services for HIV and AIDS, for those who are transgender or gender expansive, patients who are unhoused, and our youth. We also serve a number of patients with specialized or comprehensive needs for their mental health and their behavioral health. And then we also see that patients should be able to be seen and served outside of the health center. And so we really have been thankful for being able to provide services with our community partners. That means out into the community for our unhoused population. We have clinics in our schools, at the Guerneville School, at Connolly High School, and Laguna High School, both serving our patients and their parents, recognizing that most of what our youth deal with often have origins in our families. And that we provide support for our patients for a broad array of services for education, for wellness, and We also recognize that a lot of what we need to do has origins outside of direct healthcare. So many of the complex natures have to do with our social drivers of health, and have been immensely thankful for leaders like Lynda Hopkins who are able to say, we're going to do this together. And that means working collectively. And just to do a couple resources that you might not be aware of, we have access coordinators who are that are able to help patients sign up for health insurance and other resources, regardless if you're a patient of ours. We have our Resiliency Center in Guerneville that's a community space and offering. If you're providing services to your community for the common good, you're able to use that space for free. Please reach out and contact us for that. We are wanting to be trusted messengers, wanting to work with others to recognize that this is going to be an evolving understanding of what we need to be aware of, and we want to participate in our understanding of how healthcare contributes to that. And lastly, I want to say that we're not a governmental organization, and that we provide patients regardless of their insurance status. Some patients choose to be cared for with insurance. Other patients don't have insurance or choose not to have insurance, and we're able to care for those patients regardless. So I just want to highlight that Linnea is on our call here. She's our Director of Behavioral Health Services and is available for questions and answers for our time here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason and Linnea, for being here with us tonight and showcasing your support for our communities. Our next presenter is Imelda from Humanidad. Adelante, Imelda.
Thank you, Tracy. Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank Lynda Hopkins and the District 5 team for the invitation. It's an honor for Humanidad to be a part of this space to talk about a little bit of what we do in the community. Again, Imelda Vera, Programs Manager with Humanidad Therapy and Education Services. We're located in Santa Rosa. I'd like to share a little bit about our mission of organization. Humanidad's mission is to strengthen the lives of the Latino community by increasing access and utilization of community mental health resources. We transcend barriers and reduce stigma by providing culturally prominent therapy training, inclusive community education, and bilingual therapy services. We envision a healthy and thriving communities where the stigma associated with mental health does not exist, and all have access to quality and compassionate, culturally sensitive therapy services. Our core values is that we serve our community with commitment and dedication. We respect and honor all cultures. We take great pride in providing high quality services. We do the work because we love the work. Some of our programs and services that we provide within our agency, we provide bilingual, bicultural marriage and family therapy training to MFTs, LCSUs, Ws, who are in the process of earning their licensing hours. We provide strength-based therapeutic counseling. Most recently, in our most recent community engagement that we are providing out in the community is what we call our convivencia model. Our community convivencia is a community gathering where we get to explore the community's emotional well-being, as well as our group convivencias, which is culturally relevant group therapy. And most recently, through our group convivencias, we have been providing services within some of our schools and working with some of our newcomer students. Talking about some of what's happening in our society right now with Trump coming into presidency, that some of our students are feeling vulnerable of what's happening. We have been working with Montgomery High School, Pioneer High School, and Santa Rosa High School as well. And we look forward to continuing to work with these schools and going back in the spring of next year. We just currently completed a full 8-week group convivencia with Pioneer High School and Montgomery High School in the fall. We also provide counseling services in schools. We have been working with CCLA, the Cesar Chavez Language Academy, for a few years now, providing one-on-one therapy to that population. We also have community health workers on staff who are ready and available to work with clients who are in need of services for linkages and resources. Our agency prides on that we transcend barriers, reduce stigma, and bridge the gap between cultures. We're out in the community providing some of our services through engagement, outreach, and we are at our offices with our doors wide open for one-on-one therapy. And we take pride in all of those who would like to be a part of our therapy team when they're ready to earn their licensing hours. And again, I'm here throughout the presentation to answer any questions about Humanidad therapy and education services. Thank you so much.
Gracias, Imelda, for being here tonight with us and for the essential work that Humanidad is doing to support our communities. Thank you again for being here. Our next presenter is coming from a well-known organization in our community, which is Legal Aid. We have Sunny Nudd here with us tonight. Go ahead, Sunny.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sunny No. I'm the Interim Executive Director at Legal Aid of Sonoma County. Thank you, Supervisor Hopkins, for convening this town hall. We're very happy to be here with all these community partners. Legal Aid of Sonoma County is the only full civil legal services organization in this county that's dedicated to this county. Our physical office is located in Santa Rosa, and we see walk-ins Mondays through Thursdays. We also have phone lines that are staffed Monday through Fridays during business hours. We do not provide immigration services. However, we are very proud to address a range of civil legal needs, from assisting survivors of domestic violence, from assisting survivors of domestic violence and elders from elder abuse with safety protections, to assisting tenants and mobile homeowners with accessing housing justice, to assisting veterans seeking access to a range of benefits, to the unsheltered community or unstably housed community seeking access to the removal of barriers to regaining housing, and to guardianships for abused, neglected, or abandoned children. We are proud to serve the community regardless of immigration status. We hope that is very clear to this community tonight. We do not screen for immigration status. Immigration status is not a barrier to services. That is something that's important that the community hears and hopefully is known to the folks that we want to serve. What we want to message tonight is that though we don't know everything that may come and who will be the next target, we are committed to serving this community and advocating for access to justice and for your right to exist. Your rights to safety, to due process, to self-determination, especially for our LGBTQI+ community, to the tenant protections now afforded to residents in the unincorporated part of West County under the county's new ordinance, and so on. We will continue to advocate to serve, we will continue to advocate for your access to justice and to serve you on these legal issues. And we hope that the community will continue to seek our services and not be deterred. We're grateful to be here, especially so that we can hear from our community partners and hear what you are all hearing from the folks that you serve. And we want to continue to fight for our community with you all as we prepare for what's to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny, and thank you for all the wonderful support that Legal Aid has been providing to our most disadvantaged communities. We are grateful also to have you here tonight, and thank you once again. Our next presenter is our Sonoma County Public Defender, Brian Morris. Go ahead, Brian.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to Supervisor Hopkins for including me in this important town hall. My name is Brian Morris. I'm the Sonoma County Public Defender, and my office represents people who can't afford to hire an attorney in criminal cases, juvenile cases, and some mental health cases. And we stand up for the rights of everyone in our community, and specifically for our immigrant community. My office has an immigration attorney, Victor Escobar, who is dedicated to finding the best possible criminal case resolution for our immigrant clients who may face negative immigration consequences. And he also challenges some criminal convictions for people who may not have received proper immigration consequences advice when they originally pled guilty or were found guilty. He also reviews, and this is important in our community, he reviews communications between ICE and the jail when ICE requests to know when people are going to be released from the jail because ICE is looking to pick them up. So he makes sure that the Sheriff's Office is complying with SB 54 and points out when they are not. Also, the Board of Supervisors recently provided funding for my office to hire a removal defense attorney, and we're currently recruiting to fill that position. And we also have in our office a bilingual and bicultural social worker that helps people, whether it's to get into a program for substance abuse, mental health, help them to get jobs, find housing, etc. We have an in-house Spanish language interpreter, and we also have a new position that's really helping people. It's a DMV liaison who is also bilingual and bicultural, who helps our clients navigate the DMV. Finally, I'm really grateful to be here with this group in the community and at this town hall. We in my office are ready to help. We've been ready, but we are going to stand up to the challenge of this new administration, and we're going to be here to help this community. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian. We are also thankful having you here with us tonight and showing your support to our community and sharing the essential work that you're doing. I just want to remind everyone again, if there's any questions, please make sure you type your questions. We will have time at the end to answer those. And our next presenter, it's also a well-known organization. We have Secure Families here with us tonight. So we have Margaret and Betty. Go ahead, Margaret and Betty.
Hello, my name is Bernice Orbere Espinosa, she, ella, and I am one of the 2 pro bono removal defense attorneys under Secure Families Collaborative, who's funded through Secure Families Collaborative. I work at Sonoma Immigrant Services. So Sonoma County Secure Families Collaborative is ready to reactivate collaborations that existed during the first Trump administration and foster a united front with all immigrant service providers in the wake of these past elections. The Sonoma County Board of Supervisors began in 2016 to gather and convene immigration service providers, identify and analyze community needs, and also included a public defender who was the Padilla attorney, the attorney doing immigration consequences. And I was that person at that time. The board realized that there needed to be an immigration initiative, and the efforts revealed that we needed more affordable immigration legal defense and education and outreach. And since that time, we have been providing outreach, education, and information, and doing it at no cost to our clients in removal defense, and making sure that people have information. And with that, I will let Margaret talk about what things that we are doing to prepare our community now so that they have the information that they need to have power and not panic.
My name is Margaret Flores McCabe, Executive Director of the Secure Families Collaborative, and I have to put a shout out to Bede Espinosa. The legal teams work tirelessly day and night, most recently to ensure that we are prepared. We have experience from the last administration. And so again, I want to echo what Bede said about power, not panic. So we are committed to providing and rolling out some immigration legal clinic and resource fairs. They will be free consultations, and they will be staffed with private attorneys, and there will be nonprofits there as well that will be tabling for social services. But it is a great opportunity for immigrants in the community to meet one-on-one with the pro bono, with the attorneys at no cost, to get a consultation, to really get an assessment, to see what the legal implications will be in this Trump administration, and to meet with them now. The first clinic is actually this weekend. I did submit that to Tracy, so you have copies of when the clinics are scheduled. Please feel free to reach out to us as well. Our phone number is 707-856-4988, and we're also securefamilies.org. You can reach us either way, and we will be happy to give you the details for safety and security of everyone. We're releasing the locations as people come and make the inquiry. And again, these are complimentary consultations, and we have some amazing other nonprofit partners who will be tabling from all over, different organizations ready to support. What the messaging we want to get out to the immigrants in the community is: we stand with you, we support you, and we are doing everything within our power to ensure that you have the immigration legal services, that you have the knowledge, and that you know what's to come and what to expect. And we will be rolling out all of these clinics in each of the districts. So we really do hope that you take us up on this opportunity to meet with some very dedicated attorneys who have committed their time to come and to speak and sit with you and your family, and to discuss your situation with them. Thank you very much.
Y les quiero dejar saber de que estamos para servirles. Sí, soy bilingüe y bicultural. I just want to say that we are here to serve you. We do have bilingual, and I am bilingual and bicultural as well.
Thank you so much, Margaret and Bede, for the work that you do in the community and the services that you provide. Next, we'll be hearing from Helen Myers from Food for Thought about food resources.
Thank you, everybody, for having me here tonight. I'm hoping I can share my screen, although I don't know if that's possible. Oh, here we go. Tracy, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
I can, yes.
Okay. My name is Helen. I'm the Director of Community Engagement at Food for Thought. We're a nonprofit organization located in Forestville that provides medically tailored meals and groceries to folks with serious medical conditions. And our mission is to foster health and healing with food and compassion. And our vision is a Sonoma County where everybody with a medical need has access to nutritious food to heal and thrive. A little bit about us: we were founded right here in West County in Guerneville in 1988 in response to the AIDS epidemic. This group of friends got together around a kitchen table and started collecting food and cash donations and dropping off food at folks' homes that they knew were living with HIV. Today, we serve about 4,000 people across Sonoma County. living with a wide range of serious medical conditions, including those listed here. And I want to emphasize in this meeting that we were founded to serve everyone. We believe that healthy food is important to everybody who needs it to heal and thrive. So we don't ask for immigration status. We don't ask, don't tell, and everybody is welcome. The services we provide include weekly groceries and medically tailored food, home delivery, individual nutrition counseling, and regular case management. Our client services team is almost all bilingual, bicultural, and we have 2 bilingual, bicultural registered dietitians on staff to offer nutrition counseling to folks. We also have a garden on our grounds in Forestville, and it was both meant to grow food for clients, but also a community space. We still have what we believe is the only AIDS memorial in this garden in Sonoma County, and it's meant to be a beautiful space for folks to come. It was put in 1999 when the AIDS epidemic was still really traumatic for a lot of folks. So we were really founded during a time when folks needed a place to feel like they could come and be welcomed and find a place for healing. And we definitely continue that today. We believe that food is medicine. We believe everybody should have access to healthy food as medicine. So we work with our clients individually to find, our registered dietitians work with clients individually to find a diet plan that's going to work for folks, whether it be, for the certain medical conditions they have or preferences, both personal and cultural. So we do really try to meet folks where they're at. And lastly, we'd love for you to get involved. We use more than 700 volunteers a year. We really couldn't do what we do without volunteers. I saw a few of our volunteers on this call today, actually. A host or volunteer at a food drive, donate, attend a fundraising event, or just simply spread the word about Food for Thought. And that's it from me.
Thank you, Helen, for the work that you do and for sharing these resources. Next, Danielle Danforth from West County Community Services will be joining us to share about the Keep People Housed program and services for our housing insecure and unhoused community.
Good evening, everyone. I'm actually very honored to be here with this group of people, many who are our partners. And I represent one department of my agency, which there's 3 of. So I'm the Director of Housing and Homeless Services, but we also have the Senior Center and a lot of services through them, including the mobility and transportation, meals, the senior peer counseling for people who would be, stay at home and get isolated, things like that. We have the peer centers throughout the county. For people of behavioral health that can just show up and drop in. But we also have the shelter now that's been running 24/7 since COVID hit instead of just during the winter. And we currently today have 44 people and they were contracted for 27. We have rapid rehousing and homeless prevention, which is what was just discussed as the Keep People Housed funding that'll be coming online on December 16th. There's been a lot of work going in. There's partners. COTS is the point person, and then there's 5 of us in community doing this in different areas. My organization represents the West County area, but we also have Reach for Home up north. COTS will do the South area, and Community Support Network is doing the Santa Rosa area, the big urban area, and Home First will be doing the outlying area of the farther. I'm west, so they're east, over in the Agua Caliente, Sonoma area. So we're covering the entire county that way. There's over $3 million at 3.8. It's a partnership of funding between the county funds, City of Santa Rosa, and the City of Petaluma, along with some private funding that's matched it and very well matched. And they have been providing this kind of service and backup for communities in other counties. It's more outcomes based. It's best practices. There's algorithms in the application. If you go to any of our partner sites, there'll be you can a tab on there for you to be able to apply right from online or from our case managers. Each one of these organizations have case managers that will be helping people apply for the funds and provide ongoing case management support, which is relatively new for homeless prevention funds. It's not just about fixing the problem right now, but they can look into more things like the credit ratings, the budgeting, the rent reasonableness for their income, expanding their income, all sorts of different things that case managers can do. Very individualized, obviously, because every situation is very different. This funding is it's a lot more flexible than a lot of the funding that we usually get. We'll be able to do things. It may be that somebody needs their car fixed so that they can get to work, so that they don't lose their housing, where traditional funding wouldn't allow us to do that. This would, if it's reasonable to keep them housed. It might be a medical bill that's in their way. It might be a school tuition or something like that that is in the rears. There's, just so many things. If we can tie it to housing and housing instability, we can pay for it. There's also a lot of different ways to prove the citizen is eligible, not just gotta have your Social Security card and your DMV. There's many ways to be able to make somebody available for this. It's very exciting. It's coming online here pretty soon. And we also, in addition to the people that I just mentioned as our partners, Legal Aid is also one of our partners, so that we can work with them if somebody has outstanding stuff, perhaps in their past, like unlawful detainers or evictions, or perhaps they're in a situation where the landlord isn't doing things exactly legally correct, and they could partner with the tenant as well as the landlord and perhaps save off some sort of legal action that way. So having that component is really unique, and we are fortunate to have them on board as partners. So with that, I could talk about some of our other programs, but really that's the keeping people housed end of it. And it's coming online, like I said, December 16th. There will be a tab on all of our partners' websites. We have dedicated numbers and emails for that you'll find on all of our websites as well. So that's how you'll find us.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Finally, I'd like to invite our last speaker, Una Glass from Conservation Action, to speak to local climate initiatives.
Thank you, Tracy. And thank you to Supervisor Hopkins for putting together this town hall. This is really crucial that we stay in touch, that we be part of our community and support each other in what's probably going to be a pretty difficult times coming up for us. It's really important that we support every person in our community. And the other thing that we need to support is our environment and our planet. All of the people are going to be under attack, but so is our environment and our planet. I'm here representing Sonoma County Conservation Action and our sister organization, CAFE, which stands for the Conservation Action Fund for Education. We've been around since 1992, what we do is advocate for sound environmental policies, for policies that will support our climate, and we advocate for beautiful public lands, beautiful public spaces for nature and its importance as part of our quality of life for all people and not just for the wealthy. We are going to be monitoring the kinds of things that are going on in Washington and telling our membership and people that get our newsletter about what issues are happening in Washington so people can get involved. We will be looking at various things that are happening to the Environmental Protection Agency, attacks on our air and water protection laws, and attacks on the whole notion of land use, that we should make policies regarding how we organize our cities and our land in a way that protects our climate as best as possible. We will be monitoring those issues, and we will be keeping folks informed about what's going on. We are looking for volunteers to help us with that. And if you are interested in volunteering and working with our political director, whose name is Matt Calloway, please go to our website, which is conservationaction.org/volunteer, or just go to our website and become a member of our organization. We plan to be very organized about looking at the different kinds of issues that are out there and making sure that we mobilize our membership and mobilize our allies to work in favor of maintaining the great, really environmental and climate-friendly rules that we have here in California, try to prevent them from being whittled away in Washington, and also make sure that we maintain all the incredible work that we have done in this county to keep our beautiful open space alive, to keep our sustainable farming at the forefront of the entire country, and to keep our spaces accessible to the children of this county so that everybody can go for a walk on the beach or a hike in the hills. So please think about checking out our website and going to volunteer to Sonoma County, actually, conservationaction.org volunteer. We also are going to be working over the next 2 years to keep the public informed about the work that is being done with parks, open space, and the SMART train. These issues, or these amenities, our parks and our open space district and the SMART train, are all issues that are going to be coming to before the voters in the next 2 years. And we know that there's going to be attacks on the idea that public spaces are for everybody. There is a mentality in Washington that everything is a commodity, everything gets to be paid for, and that if you can't pay for it, then you shouldn't have access to it. So we're going to be working hard to make sure that that mentality does not happen here in Sonoma County. So we will be working hard on also informing the public about climate adaptation strategies, fire and flood mitigation and adaptation that everybody can do in their home for safety, how to deal with landscaping for drought and fire safety. And we'll be doing all of this in solidarity with our friends in the social justice community. We will be continuing to work to advocate for decision makers in this county who are allies of the three most important constituencies that we have in our county. And that's the social justice constituency, the environmental constituency, and labor. We work with those three groups to make sure that we come up with policies that are not siloed and that we can support for all people in this county. So we have good housing and open space for everybody, and so that we can make sure that our quality of life in this county is maintained. Thank you all for being here and for your interest in keeping our community wonderful as it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Una, and thank you to all of our panelists tonight. Now, let's open the floor to our attendees. Please submit your questions through the Q&A feature in English or Spanish, and questions will appear as they are answered. First, we have a great question from Christine in the Q&A. She asks, I am wondering if anyone else is interested in making Inauguration Day a day of service. I do not want to spend the day focused on Trump, and I think it could be an empowering statement to spend the day helping each other, and especially supporting our wonderful immigrants, the LGBTQ community, and reproductive rights. I have a couple of ideas, but would love to hear if others might be interested. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this from our panel? Sorry, I have technical difficulties with my video here. I was a teacher in a past life, so I may call on you, but I'll leave that one open for folks to think about. Let's shift to a different question. We have another question from the audience. Bernice and Margaret, there are actually a few questions on the same theme. We'd love for you to join and discuss. First, a question from Cynthia. Are there any organizations offering legal support for people who have gotten arrested or detained due to participation in a demonstration?
I'll defer that question to Bernice. She probably knows the answer to that.
So that's actually a question more for the public defender.
Okay.
But I can share that in the past, there have been a number of, let me back up. When there is mass protest and there is arrest, what happens is that the public defender can be appointed to one of those individuals, but to protect the rights of all other individuals in a case that might be good for one person and not okay for the other, other individuals have to have their own attorney. And so in the past, there has been a group of volunteer private attorneys who have served as representing people in protest. And I'm not sure if that group of people will reactivate to be there in order to represent those who cannot be represented by the public defender's office. However, you can also have representation by the conflict panel. So if Public Defender Morris would like to add anything else?
No, I think that's pretty good. If there was a demonstration and people were arrested, then we would have to take, we'd have to look to see who qualified for public defender services and financially that is. And then if there was a conflict, like Bere had said, then we wouldn't be able to take everybody, but we would take, depending on where they were, if there's different areas that we might be able to take more than one, but we'd have to see.
We have a couple of additional legal questions in the queue. But
I'm sorry, I will add that we do have members of the National, for those who do not know what NLG is, the National Lawyers Guild in our community. And there is a way to sign up for services in order to have the NLG be responsive for a protest that you may be putting together. They do not have to be attorneys here in Sonoma County to be responsive to their hotline.
I just wanted to add that for folks who have criminal records that are seeking expungement services, Legal Aid runs expungement clinics monthly, and so I'm happy to share out that information.
Thank you so much. And another legal question came in. And so if the legal folks on the call here could stay, just a question about what we can do to support legal protection for undocumented community members.
I do want to focus on, we've been talking a lot about undocumented community members, and I want to be very clear that every person who is not a U.S. citizen is vulnerable. During the last Trump administration, the former president did strip away certain protections and statuses for people that already had them, such as temporary protective status, the attempts to remove DACA, and other forms. So one way that you can actually support the community is to ask the Board of Supervisors to follow through with their commitment to do a State of Immigrants in Sonoma County report and make sure that we actually know what the state of immigrants are here and assess the gaps so that we can meet those gaps in a meaningful way instead of a reactionary way.
I also want to add that a way that you can assist the immigrants in our community is to highly encourage them to attend one of the immigration legal clinics and resource fairs that the legal teams have scheduled pre-inauguration and post-inauguration. It's because this is, like I said, a tremendous opportunity to come face to face with people who are very well versed in the complex area of immigration law and will be able to really assist them rather than them to be preventative in a sense, rather than getting abused by notarios or for-profit attorneys who might charge them some exorbitant fees for a case they may not even ever win, but giving them false promises. So that's how you can assist them.
Thank you so much. Shifting gears here, we have a question. What can we as community members do to help? Is there somewhere we can look for volunteer opportunities? And so organizations, you have mentioned some ways to get involved. This is your chance to share more about ways that the community can help support your efforts.
In relation to immigrants specifically, or all of your efforts?
I think that's a broad question for all of us tonight. Sunny?
Yeah, I would say, number one, a lot of organizations that provide services, honestly, they're going to need all the financial support that folks can offer. So if you are able to donate to these organizations that align with the issues you care most about, we encourage you to do so. And I think there'll be lots of opportunities to volunteer services as well. And so I would just suggest that you reach out to the organizations that you feel you can offer something to, or that you feel connected to. And there may not be, what I will just say is this is a long game. This is not a temporary issue that we're going to be dealing with. We are going to be needing support over the course of this next term. And so we get a lot of interest usually in the early days, but the need will not cease till the end of the term. So I would encourage you just to figure out what you feel like you can commit to and offer, and reach out to the organizations. And I'm sure there's ways for folks to come together. And to the first question, I wholeheartedly support that. I think that's a wonderful way for us to harness our collective power and rage to do something that's meaningful. And the issues that the folks who are most vulnerable will need addressed are multifaceted. It's not a single issue. There's certain issues that are certainly very front of mind and very dangerous for folks. And we also want people to be able to access their basic needs. And so, yes, there'll be lots of opportunities, and I just encourage you to reach out. You can always reach out to Legal Aid and all these partners. As I think Una just said, they are looking for support from the community.
Another way to volunteer, that we need people to be trained to support the rapid response network hotline. And also, if you go to the Secure Families Collaborative website, you will also see there is a queer accompanying organization we do have intersectional immigrants, obviously. And so there's a possibility for you to accompany people to court or to their services or to things like that that are available. So you can call the Secure Families Collaborative phone number, 707-856-4988, in order to learn how to participate.
Before you leave, we have another ask to repeat the name of what to repeat what folks should email to the BOS as a request regarding Sonoma County immigrant status. Thank you.
You can email to the Board of Supervisors to implement let me restate that. In January of 2024, the Board of Supervisors agreed to write a report regarding the state of immigrants in Sonoma County. You can write the Board of Supervisors to follow through with that commitment and write a report assessing the needs of all immigrants in our county.
Thank you so much. And we have one additional question that you may want to stay on for. Apologies, but regarding organizations offering immigration services, are there free consults?
The legal clinics will have free consultations, and we are going to be holding a clinic in each district. And so please feel free to call that phone number to find the clinic closest to you or your loved one.
Tracy, there's one more question that was done in Spanish, and it looks like it's probably for food for thought. They're wanting to know the services that you guys provide. Are those for anyone, or are these for specific communities?
The services we provide are anybody is welcome to. Our eligibility criteria is more around medical diagnosis. We're a medically tailored food pantry, so we typically get the folks that get referred to us are for their medical need. But other than that, we don't have any eligibility criteria surrounding immigration status or anything like that. We don't even ask. If the person who posed the question is looking for kind of broader hunger relief support or just a list of services, we typically encourage folks to check out the Redwood Empire Food Bank's website. They have a good kind of database of pantries and distributions that they do across the county that folks can access.
Thank you so much, Helen. And I will ask you a question. Could you talk a little bit about the Food for Thoughts services for pregnant and new mothers and families?
Sure, yeah. A few years ago, we launched what we call our Full Belly program for folks who are pregnant and at risk for malnutrition. So we have a program to serve pregnant folks and their entire family for the length of their pregnancy and 3 months after the baby's born. The purpose of the program is to just support healthy families across the county, including here in the Lower Russian River area. And like I said, we provide comprehensive nutrition services, so 21 meals per week per person in the household throughout the pregnancy and 3 months postpartum.
Thank you so much. And a call to all of our attendees to record your question using the Q&A tool at the bottom of your screen. That will be the best way for us to address your questions. Lupe, would you mind relaying Irene's question in the Q&A? Apologies. Gilbert, would you be able to assist?
Of course. What's the question here?
And the question from Irene that's in the Q&A?
Yes, let me.
I got it, Gilbert. Thank you. Sorry. So the question, it says, how can we support our students, our adolescent students in this time of need that are also being affected with their mental health? How can we find support for them?
And I'd love to bring on West County Health Centers to address that question.
Linnea, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So at the health center locations and in some of the schools, we have behavioral health staff and other support staff who are available to talk to teens I think we're even working with elementary school kids in their school as well, as needed, and their families. Youth can come to us and just say that they need support around something, and we're happy to work with them to provide whatever they're looking for. And then Humanidad is also on this panel as well, and they're also in schools that we're not in. And in all of our locations, youth can come to us, and we are also doing our best to go to where youth are located. And at West County, our services are in English and Spanish, and those of us who only speak English use interpreters, so that there's no waiting for someone to talk to.
Thank you so much. And I would also like to highlight the work of Positive Images, who you heard from in the first set of videos, and the support that they provide to youth and adults in our community.
Yes, thank you.
We have a question.
I'll add just one more thing, that we'll do this regardless of ability to pay also. So we don't expect a teen to come to us ready to pay for a therapy session. That will just help you out. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a note in our Q&A section that I just wanted to share out loud from Terry to answer the question about who offers pro bono legal support. Vidas also has a robust team of legal providers. You can find out more information at Vidas Legal. That's VIDASLEGAL.org, or call 707-523-1740. Please keep the questions coming, and we'll continue to respond. Remember to use the Q&A tool at the bottom of your screen. I'd like to highlight a question that came in from Suki, asking where to find the Resilience Center in Guerneville. But I'd also like to call up West County Health Centers to share more about how the Resiliency Center itself is a resource for local nonprofits and for the community.
Thank you, Tracy. We are grateful to have a new facility from August of 2022 after our facility burned down a number of years prior. And Mary Seche, the CEO for over 25 years, has had a vision and an interest in our community collective action, that really healthcare is just part of what's needed, and that there needs to be space for that and a space for dialogue. And so as we built that space, part of the campus includes what's called the Resiliency Center. We use that for our wellness services and other internal services, but it's also available for any organization or any individual who's providing services for the community common good or wants to meet about those type of activities. And that's free of charge. There's a code on the outside of the door that we would give you. You could meet, and then that would be secure. And we'd love to have it be overused. We'd love to have a waiting for it so that we are using that space for collective action. So thanks for that. The address is in the answered Q&A, and so is an email for Karen Mitchell if you want to explore that further, kmitchell@wchealth.org.
Thank you so much, Jason. We have a question in the Q&A. Does Sonoma County offer any support or services or resources for individuals with Alzheimer's or their caregivers? I'm not sure who could best answer this question. Perhaps someone from our team or Linnea. Thank you so much.
I don't have a specific answer, but the Sonoma County Adult and Aging Department does have a case management service called Linkages. And they do go to people's homes if asked, to do an assessment and see what might help somebody stay safely at home, which could include someone who may be dealing with Alzheimer's or caregiving someone who is experiencing Alzheimer's. So that would be a place to start in terms of local resources in Sonoma County. And others may have something to add to that.
Thank you so much. And a quick clarification on the information that was shared earlier, Vidas, is low bono, not pro bono. So that means that they offer a reduced rate for legal services, but it is not completely free. Just wanted to make sure that we shared that update with folks. We're going to be able to take one more question before we wrap up here. I'm seeing more comments than questions in the Q&A, and so perhaps I'll just share some words from some folks that we have here. But first, Bede.
Thank you. I also would like to, when people ask what else they can do to help, you may not be aware that Sonoma County is not a sanctuary county, and there is still cooperation with ICE within the Sheriff's Department. So another thing you can do is call upon the sheriff to change his policy regarding notifying ICE on cases. And that is another way that you can support the community who is not U.S. citizen.
Thank you so much, Bede. And I will share some words from an anonymous attendee. I'm very grateful and impressed with this call, and I wish that my friends in North Carolina could hear it. They would feel better. And I couldn't agree more that we have amazing resources here in Sonoma County and in West County. And thank you to tonight's panelists and to all of you for joining us this evening for the We Take Care of Us Town Hall. If you'd like to review any of the information shared this evening, or if you'd like to share this information with others, please look for the recording of the Town Hall on District 5's YouTube. We will be posting the recording along with related materials from our panelists and a translated copy of tonight's question and answer session. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great night.